Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher, it is about us, the authors.
Hello, everybody out there, all the storytellers, all of the book lovers, and just hello, people all over the world. Listen, welcome to the grandest online book event of the year, the Festival of Storytellers, you guys, Chapter 5. So listen, we are streaming over all social media platforms today, and so we want you to like, follow, and share, okay? So listen, today we want to welcome you to our blogging strategies for impactful content roundtable session. And so today we have several guests with us that is going to be sharing as well. And so we definitely want to welcome them to the stage right now. So first up, we have Lonnie coming to us. Hi, Lonnie. Well, everybody's coming. Hi, everybody. We've got Lonnie.
Hi.
We've got Marcelo, Marianne, Margie, Carmen, and Wes. All righty. So listen, I'm so excited to be talking about the blogging strategies for impactful content today. And I'm super excited about the guests that we have as well. And so I want to take an opportunity for each of our guests in the roundtable session to be able to introduce themselves and also tell us about your book and where people can find it. Let's start with Lonnie.
My book is Moorish American Nationality Keys of the Moorish American Institute. It's nonfiction about indigenous peoples, administrative law, indigenous peoples, and court records procedures. It's number 17 and number 27 in the world out of 687 something thousand books for those two categories.
That is awesome, Lonnie. Good job. I'm so super impressed, and I'm super excited for you as well. All right, up next we have Leroy. Leroy, tell us about you and your book. Is Leroy okay? Leroy, okay. We can't hear you, Leroy. Can you unmute? You're still on mute, Leroy.
I'm still on mute.
Now we can hear you. Oh, now you just went back on mute.
Holy shit.
Okay,
Now?
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. I'm the author of American Insanity, which I have right here with me.
Okay.
For everybody to see. American Insanity is about all the insane situations going on in our country these past several years within the government. I talk about government corruption and ineptness because I worked for the government for 29 years and spent the last 11 years in Washington, D.C. working with the congressman in the White House. So I have some experience on the government.
All right. Well, hey, that sounds like something I would be interested in picking up myself. I love the book cover to your book as well. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. All righty. So next up, we have Marcelo. How are you, my friends?
Hey, how are you? And hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. My name is J. Marcelo Vaquero Alvarez, and I'm the author of two different books. My first book is Authoritarianism and Propaganda, the Puppet Master Tools. And the second one is titled Woke and Proud, the Charlatan's Inconvenience. They are both nonfiction, thought provoking historical analysis as far as how authoritarianism has been able to take a foothold from the Bolshevik Revolution up to kind of like the 90s. I don't like to talk about authoritarians who are leaving because they have a tendency to react very violently, and I don't want to be dealing with that. However, I still want to give that information so we can actually understand how life actually works on a more pragmatic manner. And so trying to break
Mm-hmm.
that veneer that exists between what is reality and what is being fed to us as reality.
Oh, right. That's good. Outstanding, Marcelo. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Up next, we have Reverend Michael. How are you, my friend? And please tell us about your book. Up,
Let
you're
me
on mute.
unmute.
There we go.
My book is Lucius, a Soldier's Journey.
Oh, I love that
It's
cover.
about, I always tell people, I posed for that picture.
Did
But
you?
when they take one look at me, they know it's a lie.
Right. Well,
But
that's
I
you
do
from the
tell them I
behind.
posed for
Okay.
it. It's a story. It's a story about a Roman soldier who's the Iron Fist. He's part of the Iron Fist of Rome. But many of his ideals and ideologies were passed down to him from his father.
Mm-hmm.
And he is anything but Roman in many of the concepts that he holds. For example, he hates slavery, he hates the way Rome administers its conquered territories, he hates the way Rome administers its subjugated states. And he's in a great quandary. He's in a great struggle in his life, and he searches for truth, but he's not quite sure he can ever find it.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Ultimately, he finds it. He finds it in a relation that he has with uh, Christ, and an encounter he has with Christ. So that's basically my book.
Okay. Thank you so much, Reverend Michael, for sharing with us about your book. I absolutely love the cover. And listen, don't tell anybody that's not you. We won't know because we can't see the face. All right. So up next, we have Mary Ann. How are you, my friend? And tell us about your book.
Sitting around here that I can hold up.
That's okay.
My book is for it's for parents to use with elementary school children, and it's about bullying or anti-bullying.
Mhm.
And see,
Holy
can you hear
shit.
me?
It's
Yes,
getting a-
ma'am.
Oh, okay. I thought I was getting a feedback. But
alert. Holy shit.
I'm getting an alert. Oh, there
That
we
might
go.
be somebody else.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyways, it's actually a story about two little boys and a bully, and the boy's Korean American, and he struggles because there's nothing he can do to look the way some of the other kids in the class are that are teasing
Mhm.
him. And but it's actually a story about how he gets into a situation, how he exacerbates the situation, how the situation comes to a resolution. And then in the back of the book, I have an anti-bullying program that it can be downloaded from my website
Mhm.
for classrooms or for even small groups study places. And it's usually
Mhm.
it's the elementary school is where the bullying starts. The
Mhm.
all these funds and schools throw the money at the middle school and the high school to
Mhm.
resolve the issue of bullying and fighting and what have you. But they haven't learned in elementary school what bullying is, what might be fine at home, you just can't do to another student or a
Right.
younger child. And so this is a program to help children understand what bullying is. And it really does. It really should start like in second grade, believe it or not. And kids can learn what's nice behavior. They don't have to be told what's bad behavior, what's nice behavior. And so that's my goal, is to reach parents and teachers and educators that have groups of children, to help them learn and get along, so that this will help them and develop good relationships in life as they get older. Hopefully prevent some of it.
Absolutely. Well, I absolutely love that. And I know that bullying certainly is prevalent, in all of our school age years,
That's right.
And so I'm definitely glad that you mentioned that it sometimes begins, in elementary or at a younger age. I know for myself, I remember being bullied, and I certainly wasn't in middle school or high school when it started. I was in elementary as well.
Oh, I forgot to mention the name of my book.
Okay.
It's called Don't Call Me That. My name is Michael.
Yes, I saw that down there and didn't even think to ask you what the name of it is, but that is a great title. I love it. Don't call me that. I'm Michael. That's right. Don't call me Tishy, okay? Some people call me Tishy. Don't call me Tishy. It's just Tish, okay? Thank you so much for sharing, Marianne. Thank you. Thank you. All right, up next we have Miss Margie. Margie, please tell us about you and your book.
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Margie.
Hi. I am the author of two books, actually. The first one is Mizzy, You're Never Alone, and it's based on a true life story. And in that book, there is a lot of domestic violence, which stems, which children go to school with, to be bullies. Once they learn it at home, they'll do it outside. So that's the first book. And the second book is How to Be Entrenched with the Son of God. That is the book that Reader's Magnet is helping me to promote. That book is a how-to book. I'm a former nurse. I'm a Veterans Administration registered nurse. And I retired in 2000. And so I wanted to do something. When you're a busy person, you can't just retire and stop. You got to do something. So I, with the hearing the word of God, I wrote How to Be Entrenched with the Son of God. And that book is about just the title. I go through how to be entrenched. And at the end of the book, I have a checklist, measurement on how the levels of how to be entrenched and how you can measure yourself. Because a lot of times we're good Christians, but we really, if we don't access God's checklist, we just good Christians. We want to grow and be better Christians as we live. And so How to Be Entrenched with the Son of God tells you how to do that and how to check your level of entrenchment.
All right. Well, outstanding, Miss Margie. I really enjoy your titles. Missy, You're Never Alone. How many people out there feel like they are alone, and even First Lady Smith in my book felt like she was alone, and then How to Be Entrenched, with the Son of God. I'm telling you, those steps are amazing. And I love that you have that at the end, and those steps for people to be able to view and check themselves as well, their progress. So that's outstanding. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing with us. All right, up next we have Miss Carmen. Please tell us about you and your book.
Hello, everyone. Hello, how are you doing? So I am Carmen Davenport, and my
Ooh.
book, let me bring it over here.
Oh, yes. Love it.
The other side, there we go. Is Your Warrior Stance, Releasing the Warrior in You. And this book is about power, confidence, and building resilience. And it's actually an acronym. Warrior Stance is an acronym. And it teaches you, and I don't want to go through all of the acronym because it's 13 principles involved. And but it teaches you how to utilize the wisdom that you have. You know, a lot of people, we get information and knowledge confused. Like, we have access to that, but how and when to use that information is what's extremely important in being successful, as well as learning how to be the authority over what you know. And then resilience, and learning how to be a risk taker, learning how to invest in yourself, be open-minded to other people's values and views. And then, you know, it goes on to the stance where, you know, understanding how important it is to create a network that's going to help you, for one, whether it is be successful in anything you do, of course, but, you know, how it's going to help you just overpower things, you know, just bringing the right network of people around you is what's critical.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever we bring around us, like they always tell us, birds of a feather flock together, right? So
Yes, we heard it.
so if you want to be successful, you want to have the right network around you, right? So that's what this book is about. I know a couple of people on here have mentioned they're from New York. You know, I'm from New York, and I'm also a retired Marine, now life coach, author, and empowerment speaker. So a lot of my experiences are incorporated in this book. You know, what I found is important to build my warrior stance to help me be resilient and help me be powerful and confident through my life, because you know, some of the tragedies I've dealt with in life. I've learned that these principles incorporated in this book is important for everybody, you know, from teenagers all the way up to adulthood. And so it's important for each of us to grab hold to that warrior stance and move forward in life, because without it, we're kind of just running around in circles. So just be powerful, be strong, be confident, push, keep it moving, and you got this.
All right, Miss Carmen. I love that. And I absolutely love your cover, girl. Did you come up with that idea, or did somebody come up with that? Or did you give them like
Nope, I created on here. I also, you see there's a sword and shield on here.
Okay. Yeah.
So
hey, can you bring Carmen up, Alexis, so we can see that cover really well? Yes, I thought I saw a sword behind it. That's awesome. I love it. Yes, yes. Outstanding, outstanding. Well, congratulations on your book.
Thank you, Tish. Thank you.
You are so welcome. So welcome. All right, up next we have Miss Elaine. Elaine, tell us about you and your book.
Hello, I'm Elaine A. Powers. Sorry for coming in late. There was a bad accident out there. I am the author of several books. They're science-based, illustrated, primarily children's books. I believe that you're never too young to learn real science. And the way to educate adults is through reading to children. So here's the copy of, or
Don't Call Me Turtle.
Don't Call Me Turtle. Differences between turtles and tortoises.
Yes.
They rhyme, and they have great illustrations, because I've found that kids like the flow of rhyming words, and the brighter the colors, the more interest a kid will show in the book.
Okay. Fabulous. Thank you so much, Carmen, for sharing with us about your book. And I absolutely love that. All right, up next we have Miss no, we did have Elaine. Okay, so there's someone else that just joined in. I'm sorry. Could you tell us about your book? I can't see the name there, but tell us about yourself and your book, ma'am. Sophia. Okay. You're on mute, ma'am. Okay, there we go. There we go. You're off mute now.
Okay, good. So my name is Sophia Blankson, and I'm the author of My Sister, My Friend. And this is the cover of the book.
Ooh, can I go where they're at?
And a niece of mine did the cover picture. I describe, things have changed in Ghana. I'm originally from Ghana, so I based it on growing up with my sister in Ghana. And I gave her the ideas of how things were, and she was able to come up with the cover. And I have another book, a tribute to my mother, which I try to do the cover myself.
Okay.
This is it, yeah. And both were published by Reader's Magnet.
Oh,
Yeah.
fabulous, fabulous.
Sorry for
Readers
coming
Magnet
in
is in
late.
the house. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Did I miss anyone on there from sharing about their book? I hope I did not. Okay, all right, perfect. So, and of course, I'm Tish Barnhart. I am the author of Morning Tea with the King. You guys can kind of maybe see it a little bit. I'll see how I can go over here. Morning Tea with the King. That is a 90-day devotional. And in the book, I have scripture readings for each 90 days, as well as herbal teas that are good for your body. So as you're getting fuel for your spirit, listen, get some fuel for your body as well. So I am a firm believer, of course, that if God created us from the dust of the earth, then I believe that there's something within the earth to heal us. And so in there, we have all of those herbal teas and also a list of what they're good for as well. So the other book I have, of course, is So You Want to Be a First Lady, which is being shown right behind me. This is a cautionary tale book about a first lady who's married to a man of great prominence. And so, of course, with that, a lot of times comes shenanigans, you know. So it was really more than what she had bargained for. And so we will share in there, you know, from a place of transparency about all of the things that she experienced, as well as provide wisdom nuggets after each chapter for not only the pastor, but the first lady, the other women that maybe want to be her. And it's so universal that it hits you know, people in all areas. So you don't have to be a pastor, you don't have to be a first lady, you can just be a regular married couple, you know, or a regular single lady, you know, looking for love or whatever. And so that's what the book is about. So today we are here to talk about blogging strategies for impactful content. So I have a question for you guys, all of you that have books here. Who has a blog on their website? Okay, I got 3, 4,
I have a
5.
blog. I have a website blog.
All right, fabulous. It looks like all the hands are up saying that they have a blog on there. So we want to just talk about, you know, some strategies, of course, for having a impact, you know, with our blogs. And so, of course, we know that one of the first things I would say is that we need to be writing about some proven topics, right? So each of you that have blogs on your website, what are some of the topics that you're talking about? Anybody?
I'm discussing administrative law and indigenous peoples and court records procedures, as well as
Okay.
Moorish history and Moorish culture.
Okay, that's excellent, you know, because there's so many people out there that don't know, you know, about it, but they will listen to you because they know you, right? And so they know that you've done some research, of course, on it, and you're giving some helpful information. Who else? What other topics out there?
I do a blog. My blog is a mirror of my book, American Insanity. I talk about political corruption, political missteps by individuals. You know, a lot of the stuff that the Congress is doing that harms us and is unconstitutional. I do, and then I talk about my book a lot. So, but it's a very controversial political blog.
Outstanding. All right, who else? Okay, Marcelo.
Oh, thank you. So my blog is Half-Life Crisis, www.halflifecrisis.com, and that actually is how my writing is started. So this is was a daughter dad project. So essentially, it is not the same as midlife crisis, but it was just the realization that a lot of times we are living for working rather than working for a living. Sometimes we forget ourselves in the process. So this was actually created to give a platform to my daughter, particularly when she started showing some interest for the arts, particularly painting and whatnot. And for me to be able to do what I like to do the most, which is to rant a lot about all kinds of things that I find interesting in exuberant detail. And from Half-Life Crisis, of course, you know, then my books actually start moving forward to that type of topics. But I would like to say that I don't just want to talk necessarily about authoritarianism and propaganda and whatnot, but really want to talk about things that are uplifting, things that are actually making us more similar than dissimilar. But of course, much like a accident on the road, sometimes you have to talk about whatever is on the road before you actually make it to your destination. And with that, I'll get off my
Absolutely.
soapbox. Thanks.
I love that, Marcelo. I love that. All right, who else?
The
What other
first
topics
book,
are we? All right, who's that?
this is Margie.
Margie. Okay.
The first book, Mizzy, You're Never Alone, the one I was telling you about, that's based on a true life story, which involved a lot of domestic violence. So
Yes.
I do a lot of blogging about violence, youth, and trying to use guidelines for young people as far as bullying and violence is concerned, especially the relationship violence, which starts in, I believe, early high school or even elementary before high school. But the reason that I do that is because I also, this is a new thing that I'm doing. I'm opening myself up to answer questions from young people, I'd say from 12 to 20, relating to violence. And it's anonymous. It's going to be on my website. It's going to be anonymous. It's going to be like a Dear Abby thing, if y'all remember.
Okay.
Dear Abby.
Yeah.
And not involve, not involve pictures or anything of that sort, but just to help the young people. God put that on my heart to do something other than just write and hope somebody read it.
Outstanding. You know what, Miss Margie, you are just the bomb over there. Okay.com. All right now. I love it. I love it. I love it. Reverend Michael, did you have a blog as well? I thought I saw your hand.
Well, I have a confession that I must make.
Okay.
I have never blogged in my life. That's one of the reasons why I joined this talk, because I know I am blog ignorant. Now, I do have a blog on my website, but I must confess that blog was written by Reader's Magnet.
Okay.
I gave them a series of, they asked me for a series of ideas. I gave them a series of ideas, and they wrote a few blogs and they ran them past me. But as far as myself actually ever writing a blog, this whole thing about websites and such, it's kind of new territory for me. So I must confess my ignorance.
Well, Reverend Michael, listen, I want to tell you, I am so elated that you said that today, because you know what? I got a confession too. I'm going to make one. I don't do a lot of blogging either. I have a blog on my website, right? And so whenever I got this topic, I was like, oh my gosh, you're stretching me. And so guess what? I'm learning along with you guys, on how to make an impact with my blogs. And I can speak very well, obviously, and I can write very well and things like that. But for me, it's the time, getting the time. So what I want to say to you is that it's okay that Reader's Magnet wrote your blogs, because see, if you can't do it, then you need to have somebody else that can do it. And so that's where I am. Okay, now I need to get me a little team together so they can do this, thus, and so. So thank you so much for being vulnerable enough to share that with us, to let us know that you didn't have a blog and you're here learning. And guess what? Everybody else is learning too. There's always room for improvement, is what I say. There's always room for improvement, even if you're a blogger, just like the guys that are on here today that have successful blogs on their websites already. I'm sure they might learn something as we continue to go through this. We're going to do a little fun exercise too, you guys. So, but I'm excited about that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back in a moment. Well, welcome back, everybody. We are talking about blogging strategies for impactful content today. And so we've got some lovely authors on here that have written some fabulous books. And so certainly I want you that are watching us to tune into their author booths and learn about them and listen. Let's support their books. Pick up one or two or pick up something for a friend or somebody, even if it's not for you. So listen, we've been chatting just before we went on commercial break about some of the blogs that our authors have on their websites. And so let's see, who else had a blog? Someone else had a blog. All right, Carmen, tell us about your blog.
So my blog right now isn't about my book, but I am a certified life coach.
Okay.
I tend to, put information on there about mindset, about, how to face through or fight through your fears, various topics. But with this book, because there's 13 principles in here, easy to create blogs on wisdom and authority and resilience.
Yes.
And, being open-minded. So I'll probably will start. I haven't because I've been busy with school. So, on the road and everything else, so, but it's, it's so important for us to get our information out there, not just being on these type of platforms, but we all have a lot to say, and we have an audience, and it's important for them to be able to see our expertise as well, because that's kind of what blogging, is really doing. You're pushing your expertise out to people and teaching them some things. So it's a really good opportunity to increase your audience. I just hadn't done it because I know that I wasn't ready for that. That's all.
I hear you. Life can get busy, sometimes, and we, will have great intentions on doing something or, starting something. And sometimes even we start it and then we don't finish it, But so I'm here to let us know today, listen, we need to start and finish what we're saying we're going to do. We got to be able to carve out that time, including myself, to be able to get our books out there, brand ourselves and things like that. And here's something that I wanted to read to us that Reader's Magnet says. At Reader's Magnet, we don't fail to remind authors to maximize the power of the internet by building an online presence. That is important. An author website containing a blog post is one of the most effective digital portfolios. The fact of the matter is that you can print your articles and then turn them into a book. Now, is that your first time hearing that? I know I heard Marcelo talk about, his blogging helped him with his book. And that was something very powerful that I read there when I was, preparing for this and everything, was that, when we are blogging, sometimes that can help us to get the next book. That can help us to get the next chapter, chapters, of our books. And so I definitely want to encourage you, to start writing, to get some things out there. It really doesn't matter, what your proven topic or subject matter is, because listen, somebody else out there needs to hear it. Okay. So don't be afraid. Those of us that have not stepped out into that territory yet, I want you to most definitely do that. So up next, I wanted to share the second thing here, and that is about writing a catchy headline. Something that catches a person. So I've heard you guys mention, the topics or what have you that you all have, written for your websites or for your blogs rather. But so right now I want us to hone in on how we could make a catchy headline. And so I'm just going to pick this topic, not anybody's topic on here, and we're going to just figure out ourselves what comes to mind as a catchy headline. Okay. And so I'm going to give us about 1 minute to think of what that headline would be. And then we're going to round robin and see what kind of catchy headline we come up with. All right. Everybody good? So we're going to do like this. I want you to do this. I don't see nobody doing it but one person. All right. Everybody got, okay. Now we just put our thinking caps on. We just put our thinking caps on.
What is
right.
the subject that we're doing a headline for?
I'm getting ready to tell you in a minute. Okay. So the word that we're going to use, or the topic, is love. Okay.
Love?
Everybody got it. Love. Love is the topic. I'm going to put it over here in the chat just in case somebody forgets. Now we got 1 minute. Okay. I want you to think of a catchy headline, and then we're just going to round robin. I'm going to think of one too, and we're just going to round robin and see what kind of catchy headline we can come up with. All right, we got about 15 seconds left, I think.
What are we waiting for people to
All
think or
right.
just shoot it out?
Well, yes. Okay. All right. So time is up. All right. So so I hope you got yours. Some of y'all might have a little bit more time because your name probably gonna be called first. So I will go first. Okay. So for love, I said love stings. And the reason I said love stings is because sometimes we're in relationships and sometimes things don't go the way that we want them to go in the relationship, or there's trouble or whatever in there. So that's why I said love stings. Okay. All right. So let's see who's next. Marcelo.
Right. So I kind of like I found out sometimes it's good to have a couple of ideas, and then try to narrow it down over there. So the first one that came to mind was true love cannot be bought.
True love cannot be
Yeah.
bought.
And then
Love it.
kind of like the other one, is a little bit more worded. And no matter how rich you are, you cannot buy love. And the other one, love is timeless. So, and from that, then I would start kind of saying, okay, how can I actually start putting something that hopefully it's going to tell the message in as few words as possible? Otherwise, your search engine optimization, it starts punishing you, and your blog is not going to show up anywhere in the search engines.
Yeah, we're going to talk about those keywords too, because that's definitely important, right? So, spoken from a blogger over there, he's come out with 3 or 4, and we asked him for 1. I love it, Marcelo. Thank you so much. That's great. True love cannot be bought, and that is definitely the truth, right? You cannot buy love. I don't care how much money you have. We want to be in love with you, right? Okay, so let's see. Up next, Marianne. Marianne, are you there?
She's
I thought
muted.
she was muted. Okay, she's muted.
Phone.
We still can't
There we
hear
go.
you.
There we go.
Okay.
I don't love you.
I don't love you. Woo, that's good. A lot of people might hone in on that topic or that headline. I think that's great. Absolutely. Okay, thank you. All right, up next.
I did have one other one that was a little kinder. It was
Okay.
more, love requires forgiveness and patience.
That's absolutely the truth. It does. Y'all need to pick So You Want to Be a First Lady up. There's a lot of forgiveness going on in there that maybe some of y'all wouldn't be so quick to forgive, but she does. That's great, Marianne. I love that. Thank you so much. Let's see. Up next, Carmen.
Okay, so I created this long one until Marcelo said you gotta have a short. That's like, wait, okay.
It's okay.
I need to put my glasses back on.
Put your glasses on, girl.
I know, right? Look, before I mess it all up. Okay. So I have letting go of the shackles of the past to experience the power of love.
Okay.
And then the next one, after Marcelo, said what he said, I said, okay, releasing the power of love.
That's great. I love it. Releasing the power of love. I love that. I love that. See, y'all good. Y'all good. Like, look, I done came out here with 2 words, and y'all done came out here with all this whole sentence and stuff. Okay. I love it. No worries. Okay. Up next, Elaine.
Me?
Keeping in mind I'm a biologist. Lovey-dovey, doves in love.
Okay. That's so interesting.
Mating habits of doves.
Lovey-doveys and what now? Lovey-doveys and
doves in love.
Doves in love. Lovey-doveys and doves in love. Loves it. Loves it. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, Reverend Michael. What you got for us?
Love heals the broken.
Love heals the broken. Yes, that's so beautiful. Love heals the broken. Absolutely. I love it. Okay, Margie.
I have love, not licks and hits.
Love, not licks and hits. That is perfect for domestic violence.
Yeah.
That is perfect. I love that. Listen, snap, snaps. Give her some snaps, y'all. Snap, snaps. Do y'all love that? Snap, snaps. Okay.
Well, praise the Lord. I
Good
give all the
job.
glory to God.
Yes, ma'am. That was absolutely amazing. I love it. All right, Lonnie. We talking to Lonnie's avatar, y'all.
Right. For love, think mink.
For love, think what?
Mink.
Mink, M-I-N-K?
Yes.
Okay. For love, think mink. Y'all are so good. I love this exercise, don't y'all? Okay. Leroy, what about you, my friend?
2 words, love hurts.
Love hurts. Thank you, Leroy, for not leaving me out there by myself with the 2 words. Okay. Look, we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had some great headlines. Did I leave anybody out? Hopefully I didn't leave anybody out. I think Miss Sophia. Yes, Miss Sophia.
Love can heal our world.
Love can heal what?
Our world. The
Our
world we
wealth.
live in, our world.
Our wealth. Love can heal our wealth. You know
Our
what?
world. Our
Our
world.
world. Okay. Look, I was about to go with that wealth too, because listen, that can too. Okay, love can heal our world. Most definitely it can, because we have so many things that are going on now with the violence and hate and crime and all of that, And so I think that if the world can become a little bit more Christ-centered and loving, I think we would see a better world. Most definitely. Most definitely. Okay. So outstanding job. Thank y'all for participating in the little exercise there. And so, if I want you to throw in the chat, which love headline you like most, if you remember it. Okay. If you remember it, just throw it in the chat.
I don't know who said who love heals. Did that?
I put love, not hits and licks. I like that.
I like that one.
Well, you know what? I can just go around. We could just go around real quick. Carmen, which one did you like? If you remember it.
Yeah, the same one, the love, not licks and hits or hits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one.
Marianne said love, not licks and hits. Yes. I think that's going to win. Okay, Marcella, what did you like?
I actually like love hurts because of the visceral response that he gives. Like at straight, to the point. Particularly for blogging, sometimes it is. I don't want to use the word clickbaity, but it's going to be like, "Whoa, what do you mean by that?" So yeah.
All right, cool beans. Okay, Reverend Michael, what did you like?
Unmute.
I like love. I like the one love. Love, not licks and hits.
Yes. Well, you know what? I think that has got it today. Outstanding, Margie, on that. And I wish you, the best with your blog on your website. That is just been so awesome. Awesome. And I definitely want to, be able to speak with you and some of you, all of you, in fact, because, of course, I'm Tish Barnhart with the Tish Barnhart Show, right? So I love to bring guests on the show that have stories to tell. And so from listening to all of you, you've got a story to tell. You've got something that will impact my viewing audience, I'm sure. So we definitely will be talking off the air. Okay. So now let's get into another strategy. Of course, we don't have a little bit of time left. So we're going to try to get through this. Okay. So we want to make sure if there are experts that invite your experts to be able to come and post on your blog, right? because that gives you added credibility, right? And then also it's going to give you some additional exposure, right? Because that person went and put a post on your blog. And so you can't be afraid to ask. I know sometimes we are afraid because they may not know us, or I don't know what they're going to say. They might tell me no, whatever. But listen, just go for it. Okay, go for it. All they can do is say no. And if you're on an email or on the phone, like, it's not like they're right there in front of you, right? So we have to be able to get over the fear and just start moving. Okay, we got to start moving. And so I want you to do that. Those of you that already have blogs and are already doing this, I want you to make sure that you are getting out there, finding you an expert that can come onto your website and make a blog post for you. Okay. And so then one of the other things that you want to do is create pin-worthy featured images. There are times that you can see a blog post and there is an image up there. It's not just words, typed words. A lot of people are visual people, right? So they like seeing images, they like seeing pictures and things like that draw people in as well. And so that's something else that we can do, or that you can do, to add to your content on your blog. And then the other thing is you can post an infographic instead of a blog. So you know how the infographics are, where it's telling you steps to something. So you're giving them instructions or information, in the blog. And so I can't tell you how many things I've seen on losing weight. Of course, y'all can tell I can stand to lose maybe a couple of pounds, right? So when I'm scrolling through my phone, there's all these infographic, blogs or whatever that comes up, or pictures or graphics that come up with instructions on there. And so it's catchy to me because I see it, right? And it's something that I'm interested in. So you want to definitely have something like that on there. And then one of the things that we've talked about earlier, me and Carmen, we were talking about how we don't have this time to blog and stuff like that. But increasing the amount of monthly blogs you do in a month, the amount of blogs you do in a month, you're going to have to increase that. So if you just put out a blog today and you don't put anything else on there, like mine on my website, I just have the one up there, nothing else is on there. I don't mind being open and transparent. Okay. That's just me. And so, if you just put something up there one time, and I got a lot of response from that, right? And I'm going to read it in a minute, but I put I put that up there. Got a lot of feedback from it, and people were talking about it and the different things like that would call me or whatever, say something about it. But anyway, nothing else is there. So if they go back and look for something and nothing's there, have you really done a successful blog? Is it really making the impact that you want it to make? What are the goals that you have for your blog? What impact you want to make on what people? Who's the target audience that you're looking for? And I think a lot of you have already established your target audience. Who is it? So how many times do I need to do it? You're going to have to schedule this. Make it a part of your schedule in terms of when I'm going to go on here and I'm going to make another blog. So you're not sitting there with just a blog or no blog, but definitely get into doing that so that we can empower the people and, just do what we have to do for ourselves as individuals, as far as that goes. And then also one of the things that Reader's Magnet said on here as well is printing a series of blog posts from your author website solves the struggle of where to get an idea for your next book. And I think we talked about that a little bit. Also, the tactile experience of holding a printed copy of your content can be surprisingly gratifying. And so how many of you, as far as the authors go here that are on the line with us in the roundtable session, are a person that would rather have the content in your hand rather than looking at it online? Because, we have Audible versions, we have Kindles where you can download. How many of you would prefer to have the book in your hand? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe so's. Okay. So
I prefer to have the content in my hand.
Okay, the majority of us would rather have the content in hand. Lonnie said he'd rather have it in his hand as well. Absolutely. Because
I would, but you have to think of, there are a lot of people that have issues with their hands and they can't hold a book for long durations. And so, in my case with arthritis, I do use the Kindle, but I love holding a book. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it broke my heart when I had to go to Kindle.
Yeah, I have to do audio because I have an
Uh-huh.
eye problem, and when I have something up close, my eyes cannot focus on what's written on the page, so I have to rely on audio.
Absolutely. And you know what? We all have different needs, right? And so this is why, the book world or publications have several different options for us, right? To be able to meet those needs. And so, me personally, I'd like to listen to it, because of my business to just sit down with a book and stuff like that. Hey, I don't want to fall asleep on a book. How many times have you fell asleep reading a book? And so I know I have, but having it in person, like I have here, I can go back through the book. I can highlight different things in the book. I can make notes on things in the book. And so having the book in hand certainly does, have its advantages. And then, of course, listening to it on Audible has its advantages too. Why? Because you can listen to it while you're driving to work. You can listen to it while you're fixing a meal or whatever. And so Kindle, obviously, so if you can't hold the book in your hand, you can just do a tap and scroll down. And so it works that way. So that's beautiful. I think someone in the chat had asked what's an ideal count for a blog post. And so I think anywhere between 1,500 to maybe 2,500 words would be good. It doesn't have to be anything long like your book, obviously, or you need to write a book. So you're just doing a blog post. You're just doing a blog post for it. And so with that being said, is there any comments that anyone would like to make? We have about 6 minutes left, and I'm going to share with you, of course, my blog that I have. Yes, Carmen.
So I just want to make sure everybody is aware of the technology that we have today. And
Yes.
not to the point where we're using this technology to kind of, take away what we have or our experience, but we can use chat GPT. I always get those words. And
Mhm.
but what that can do is just help provide you with topics. Now, honestly, I like to, use my expertise. So I may get the topics from chat GPT, but I would use my own expertise to actually write the content. And so that's, if you're having issues trying to figure out what would be a good topic or how to identify what topics would be good, you can Google and research how to use Chat GPT and just place in there maybe what your book is about or what it is that you actually do. If you speak on, trauma, or you speak on abuse, whatever it is that you speak on, you can ask it to provide you with maybe 5 or 10 topics that you can discuss in your blog. Simple as that. And it'll give you the topics and now you're on your way. So we're a little older, so we don't want to deal with this new technology. But it can really, really help you. And trust me, these young ones, they are running with this and writing dissertations and all sorts of stuff. So we can at least use it to get the topics for our blog, So.
Absolutely, Carmen. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Because Chat GPT certainly is an option for you if you don't, if you're having trouble or whatever with anything, you can download it on your phone, you can download it on the laptop and so forth. I've looked at it a little bit too, and so forth, and it will do some powerful things for you. So, Reverend Michael, it might be a benefit for you as well, with helping you with your blog and anything going forward, as well as anyone else on the line as well. So I wanted to tap in here just real quick and let us know this. This is a blog that I had put up, and I said, life is about choices, and you must make a decision. Once the decision is made, then you have to act on it by taking that leap, taking that chance on yourself. You will find that as you take the chance, you will begin to see the change you want to see and your dreams and visions manifesting in your life. So, what you got to do, my friends, is make it happen. You got to make it happen. We're on here today talking about the blogging strategies for impactful content Some of us are more experienced than others. Some of us are not. But the reality is that we have to be able to take the first step. We got to take the first step. If you never step out there, then you will never see how far you can go. And this is an analogy that I had given, and I give it all the time about birds. And I guess you all know you see birds and bird nests all the time in your trees. Some of you have them in your trees outside. And so whenever you look at them, a lot of times bird nests are right over a road, right? And so I would think to myself sometimes, why in the world would they want to build a house right over the street where cars are going? Because if the birds fall out, they're going to hit the ground or hit the car or whatever. But here's the real reality, and that's because birds aren't afraid. They don't have that type of fear that we might have. And so whenever the mother bird is ready and knows that it's time for that bird to fly, she begins to make the bird uncomfortable. So she begins taking away all the little weeds and everything around the bird and stuff like that, right? And so sometimes you'll see them, they'll come over to the edge or whatever, and then they'll nudge themselves back because they're scared to jump, not scared to jump out there, but they don't know they can get out there and fly. So what happens is whenever it's time for that bird to fly, the mother bird pushes that bird out of the nest. Can you imagine just being pushed out of a nest that high with everything else down here that you've never been a part of, right? So when the mother bird pushes him out of the nest, guess what? He's going to do one or two things, right? Either he's going to fly or he's going to die. Because if he hit that pavement, chances are he may or may not make it, right? And so that's with our life. Sometimes we have to get out of our own comfort zone. And when we're pushed out here, just like I was pushed out here for this topic today, I learned so much and different things like that and learned from you guys as well. But I wasn't afraid of it. I embraced it. You understand what I'm saying? I embraced it. I said, no, I don't want that one because I don't know this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I don't. No, I embraced it and it made me better. And guess what? It can make you better too. So don't be afraid to tackle the new things, the technology that Carmen mentioned to us today. A lot of people are afraid of that. But if we're going to keep up with what's going on today, we have to come up. Okay? We have to come up. So all of you on here today, you all are beautiful, and I want you to know that I am so excited for you and grateful that you came on and to be a part of this roundtable session today. I didn't know what to expect with this being my first time here, and you all are so wonderful and nice, and I just love that. I just love that. So Alexis is telling me that we have 10 more minutes, so we're going to take some more comments. Okay, who else would like to make a comment or share with us a strategy that maybe we didn't cover? Yes, Marcelo.
Thank you so much. And to Carmen's point, yeah, definitely technology very important as far as what we put into the computer, because one thing is writing from their heart, but the other thing is also making sure that it makes it to the readers. So two things, if you forget anything that I said today, the title, very important, because for search engine optimization, it has to be some way that if somebody is actually putting something in a search engine, it's kind of like they're thinking, and it's going to be bringing to what you want to do. If it is too long, unfortunately, it's going to put you in the back of, like, instead of being in Google in page 2 or 3, it's going to be in page 405. Okay, so it might not be found. The other thing, whenever you start, the first 160 characters of your of your blog, those are very important. You can then make it 17,000 pages long, but those 160 first characters, those are the first ones that that is actually going to be reading. Another kind of technical things to think about is whenever you actually put any links that are from a different outside or your social media call of action, or if you put in the photos, you're going to have a chance to actually put some descriptions on your photographs that you utilize. First, please make sure that you're copyrighted, so you don't get in trouble for that.
That's right. That's right. You definitely want to make sure of that.
Yeah, put the description as detailed as you want to do that, because that's what the engine is actually reading. So whenever somebody is googling for something else, and then they look at that image, then you can put that. If you can actually afford to put more than one image in your blog, that is also going to be feeding other search engines whenever they're looking for something that is related to that. Then it works through that, and that is not necessarily the same thing as hashtags or keywords, but the more that is actually put into the back inner workings of the internet, the more likely that your content is actually going to be seen by somebody. For some for some reason, when somebody actually taught me that, now we have readers in about 79 countries, which is really interesting. That apparently they're reading my stuff. But one thing that I wanted to make sure is that I let you know again, that title in those 160 characters, those are the first thing that people are actually going to be seeing, and that's the first thing that the search engines are going to see it. And I repeated a couple of times because somebody had to repeat it to me 3 or 4 times before it finally paid attention to that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Lonnie, you are just Marcelo, sorry. You are so wonderful. And I thank you so much for the content that you gave us here tonight. I definitely appreciate it. I know everyone else does as well. Anybody else? Any other comments? Okay, let's see. We have Marianne.
I was interested in a message that came across the screen from a listener who asked, what about comments that are critical of your blog? How do you respond to that?
Yes, I was going to get to that, but I wanted to see who else had any comments or whatever that they wanted to make.
Well, then
Yes,
we'll make one more comment. Until let's see, Leslie mentioned about his sight, the issue. I have a brother who's had 6 strokes, and he can't hold a book, and he can't see. The only thing he can do right now is to read, but he has his full mind. So he's in a library program, and he listens to 5 books a week that they go over for him through the library program, and he is so grateful for audiobooks. So that's something to think about with your own book.
Absolutely. Reverend Michael, I'm sorry. I think who was that? Leroy was first. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to go back, to what you said about, getting out of your comfort zone. Because if you do that and you start working on your blogging, eventually you become comfortable with. I blog every day.
Okay.
And I have, I chat with the people on my blog. And I've got a couple thousand members in my blog. And to the point of how do you respond to somebody, that's critical of your blog? I respond, by by saying that I understand that you have a different point of view than I do, and all I'm doing here is sharing my point of view. And if you want to put your point of view, you're welcome to put it on the blog.
All right. Thank you so much. Reverend Michael, really quick. We got a couple of minutes here left.
I just wanted to say in response to that, what you do when people are critical of your blog, you should be very thankful because they're reading it. If they can't be critical of something that they never read. So if they're reading the blog, even if they're critical, they still are reading it. And so you're still getting some feedback, which is good.
Absolutely. So one of the things, okay, Carmen, really quick.
Just real quick, just understanding, that's something that I spoke about in the last session that we had, is understanding that everyone comes from different backgrounds. So their perception may not be the same as yours. They may not agree with what you say, but that does not mean that what you said isn't correct or it doesn't have an influence on people. So you just continue to blog. It's reaching people. So you're going to have, that 1 or 2 naysayers is okay.
Absolutely. So we're going to end with this, and I will address that too. And one of the things that I think we have to develop is thick skin as an author and as a blogger. We're going to have to develop thick skin, and you're going to have to be good at ignoring the noise. Okay? Ignoring the noise. Because if you continue to pay attention to everything negative that's being said, you'll stop doing it. you'll begin to take on that negativity and begin saying, you know what, well, maybe I need to change this, or, well, because they said that, maybe I need to do this. No, if God has called you to do what you are doing, he has given you the blueprint. Okay, so you need to go forward with the blueprint that you have, because it's what God gave you. That's why he said, for I know the plans and thoughts that I have toward you, right? They're thoughts of good and not of evil. They're thoughts to give you a hope and an expected end. So you have to know that what he's called you to, he called you to it. Okay, and so you have to expect adversity, right? Just as Christ did. You know, we're partakers of his sufferings, right? So sometimes your blog can be amazing, and you're just going to have somebody getting on there just doing something just for the heck of it, just to see if they can knock you off course. And so we got to be able to recognize that sometimes. Now, the other thing that I will say with that is, whenever you receive a negative post or anything like that, do take self-inventory. Sometimes negative feedback is good feedback, like Reverend Michael was saying. Sometimes we need to take that and we need to look at, you know, what they're saying and, you know, well, is this true? Or maybe I could change this or that or whatever. But at the same time, I want you to ignore the noise. Okay. Don't get caught up in the negativity. Okay. All right, everybody. I think we're out of time now. So listen, this has been fabulous with everybody on here. Thank you so much. Lonnie, thank you so much. Leroy, thank you so much. Marcelo, thank you so much. Reverend Michael, thank you. Marianne, Margie, Carmen, Elaine, and Sophia for joining me on tonight. I really, really appreciate you guys. And as we say here at Reader's Magnet, we share your stories with the world. God bless everybody.
Thanks.
Good night. Thank you.
Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher. It is about us, the authors.